everyone, welcome to a new video. Today I will take the time to do a video dedicated only to the taxes that you pay in Germany, and more concretely the income taxes, which essentially means the taxes that you pay as an employee from your salary every single month. And you might be thinking, why is this guy doing a video on that? Well, as some of you watching might know, I work in the HR department of a company here in Germany, and every end of the month when the company pays the salary to all employees, I get questions such as, for instance, oh, why did I get taxed so much? I didn't imagine that taxes here in Germany would be so high, and other similar things. The simple answer to that would be, this is Germany, taxes are high. But if you're looking for a more detailed explanation on the different types of taxes there are, how much percentage does each one of them represent, and which other factors can make you pay more or less taxes, then make sure to stay tuned. That said, and before we dive into the interesting part of the video, but also at the same time the most painful one because it's where you see how many taxes you actually have to pay, I would very much appreciate if you could hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, because it would certainly help me a lot. With that out of the way, let's start. For those of you who are only interested on getting to know your final net salary from a gross salary that you have seen or maybe you have been offered, I just left a calculator down below in the description that works pretty well and that will just give you a pretty good approximation of how much can you expect to earn net. For the ones who stayed, I guess that you are interested in getting to know more about that, so we will now be analyzing all the different aspects related to taxation. I think that there is no better way to illustrate this than to have a look at the payslip. And no, don't worry, this is not my payslip, so this is not how much I'm earning. I found it online, but the format that this payslip displays is more or less the same as mine, so we will be using this as an example. So, as I was saying, if we check it, we can identify two main concepts of deduction. We have first the steuerliche Abzüge, which would be the equivalent to the income general taxes, and below we have what is called Sozialversicherung rechtliche Abzüge, which would be the taxes regarding social security benefits of free healthcare, pensions, and related topics. Going first with the general taxes, we have three main concepts, which all of the three are linked to your tax ID and your tax class. And now let's pause here for a moment to explain what the tax ID is and how you get it. The tax ID is a number only linked to you personally, and it basically displays your current status when it comes to taxation. The tax ID contains two very important informations. On the one hand, it states the tax class to which you belong, which ranges from tax class number 1 to 6. In the screen you can see the differences, but mainly it depends on your current family and working status, and the most common one, at least amongst young people, is the tax class number 1, which is basically that you're single. The worst one of all of them is tax class number 6, which by the way is followed by 1, and then there are the rest which are more beneficial. Moreover, the tax ID also contains information regarding whether you belong to a religion or not. And in case you're wondering why, well, this is because in Germany, if you belong to a religion, you have to pay more taxes. So with this in mind, let's check the payslip again to identify these different concepts that we have just explained now. In the first case, with Lohnsteuer, it refers to the income taxes deducted which are based on your tax class. Secondly, we find the church taxes. Here, in case you belong to a religion, you will have an extra amount. This amount, depending on the region in Germany you live in, will be different, but essentially it will range between an 8 or a 9%. But don't worry, because this is not from your total gross salary. In fact, the way it's calculated is you take the previous amount that we were saying of general taxes and you do an 8 or 9% on that. So if we were to take this example that we are just analyzing now, from the 523 euros and 26 cents, if we were to do an 8% on that, it would mean that you or this person would be paying 41 euros and 86 cents every month in church taxes. In this case, we see that this person does not belong to the church, so that's why there's nothing there displayed. But now, leaving aside the beliefs, the easiest way to cut back on your taxes is to exit your religion, and then you don't have to pay this extra tax that we are just mentioning right now. Moving on to the third point, this is the tax that you pay in solidarity with Germany from the East and to help it recover from the very bad times it went through. In this case, the amount is a 5.5% from the general taxes as we saw before, so taking the same example from the 523 euros and 26 cents, doing a 5.5% out of that, we would reach to 28 euros and 78 cents that this person would be paying on this category of taxes. We see that in the case of this example, it does not match the amount that it displays here, but I can tell you that in my personal example, this matches perfectly the 5.5%, and maybe this is because in the payslip that we're looking at, this person is tax class number 3, and maybe he gets some extra benefits for that. In any case, this solidarity tax is a very controversial topic here in Germany since many people argue that already enough has been paid to Germany from the East since these taxes have existed, as you can see in the image, since 1991. Now, in case you want, there is a calculator provided by the Federal Ministry of Finance from Germany that calculates how much in general taxes would you be paying from your gross salary. So if you are interested on that, I will also link it down below in the description. So in case of this payslip, going back again to it, on general taxes, this person has paid in total 545 euros and 13 cents, which represents 14.42% of his or her gross salary. An important point to add though is that this person is tax class number 3, which means that he or she is paying a bit less taxes than, for instance, me, that I'm tax class number 1, and this also has an effect on the payslip. But as we know, this is not the end of the taxes on your salary, since then there is the other category, which is the taxes related to social security. And just bear in mind that I will be using this example, which is somebody who is publicly insured, and therefore the taxes will be displayed for public insurance. In Germany, you can also choose to be privately insured under certain conditions, but I think that this would be a topic for another video, so we will leave it for now and just analyze somebody who is publicly insured. With respect to social security taxes, there are 4 main concepts which deduct the following percentages from your gross salary. On pensions, you're retained a 9.3%, on unemployment benefits a 1.25%, on healthcare a 7.3%, and on long-term care a 1.525%. All of this together amounts to 19.375% paid in social security taxes from your total gross salary, and this, in the case of the payslip that we are analyzing, this person is paying 732 euros and 50 cents on social security taxes. Just to check with you whether these percentages that I shared are correct, we will now do the 732 euros and 50 cents out of this person's total gross salary, which is of 3,780 euros a month. And we see that these taxes represent a 19.378%, which is almost the same as the 375% that I shared with you, so we can assume that this payslip is correct. Finally, before closing the video, let's now add up all of the taxes that this person is paying in order to see how much of your total gross salary goes away in taxes here in Germany. In the example that we have been looking at, we see that this person is earning 3,780 euros a month, which is okay. But from all of that, he's paying in total 1,277 euros and 63 cents in taxes. This is the equivalent to paying 33.8% of his gross salary just in taxes, which I think is pretty impressive. In the end, from the gross salary that we saw, this person ends up getting a net salary of 2,502 euros and 37 cents. As I mentioned, this is just an example from a payslip that I took on the internet, and of course the final amount on how many taxes you pay will depend on how much money you earn. Nevertheless, there is one thing for sure, which is that the more you earn, the more taxes you will have to pay. Well, that's the end of the video. I hope that it helped you better understand the different factors that come into play when it comes to taxes, that you now understand better your payslip, because I know that it might be a bit surprising at the beginning if you're coming from abroad here to Germany. But in any case, if you enjoyed the video, then please make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed, and as always, see you next time.